Greetings. I am Ashim Kumar Manna, a researcher at the International Center for Urbanism. Today, I shall be presenting my paper titled Material Mountains Tracing Transformation Through Extractive Episodes of the Himalayan Foothills. The vast accumulation of freshwater and ice in the Himalayan region renders it to act as the global third pole. When we look at the South Asian scale, one can clearly see how the region becomes the environmental and the economical backbone of South Asia. Various materials, power, water, food resources, forest products, and natural resources flow down from the Himalaya to construct the mega urban region of the Indo-Gangetic Plains. Positioning the Himalayan region in terms of its natural resources, which include water, snow, forest, and soil, one can also see that it harbors four global biodiversity hotspots. Approximately 1.9 billion people depend upon water, food, and energy needs. Approximately 240 million people directly depend upon the region for their livelihood. 10 major Asian river systems originate from the Himalayas. The Himalayan forest act as global carbon sink. We further explored the extractive apparatus, which includes the risk, infrastructure, and urbanization in the region. Flash floods of 2012, 13, and most recently in 2021, earthquake of 1991, 1993, and 2015, significant temperature increasing, accelerating anthropogenic emissions, increasing rainfall, landslides, incidents of drought, and forest fires contour the various vulnerabilities of the region. When we look at the Himalayan transect, one can easily see how it is composed of ecologies ranging from tropical foothills to alpine highlands. The region is also characterized by smaller towns and numerous mountain villages within the vast ecological composition of soil, forest, and glaciers. The foothills have been strategic areas controlling the material, hydrological, and socio-ecological linkages between the plains and the mountains for millennia. Strategic investments made within the mountains often have their origin in the foothills. When we explore the transect, one can also see how the relationship between human settlements, agricultural regimes, greatly depend upon topography and the climate cycles of the mountain. The junction between the mountains and the plain rendered the foothills to rapidly urbanize as continuous urban sprawls. We can also explore the challenges and the opportunities of the region. Reducing ecological capacities accelerated by climate impacts, increasing urbanization, which greatly depend upon natural resources, and the new Himalayan programs in forms of investments and mobilities. The paper intends to explore the case study of the foothills as a stepping stone for exploring the large Himalayan territory. It tries to identify the role of the landscape in developing alternative forms of urbanism to introduce resilience within the region. The paper utilizes a significantly cartographic method where the interpretations are developed upon archival text, fieldwork, and geospatial database. The emerging results are spatial interpretation of the landscape structure, settlement pattern, and a possible exploratory framework for future research. The forested foothills of Dehradun. The geological subduction resulted in erosion and deposition of conglomerate materials over millennia. These led to the formation of intermittent foothills along the outer edges of the mountains, often referred as dunes in India and terai in Nepal. The presence of rich alluvial deposits, good water retention, and temperate climate, combined with abundant rainfall, have characterized these foothills as biodiverse forest valleys. The episode of forest replacing forest between 1820 and 1880 can be read through the introduction of colonial land grants, which introduce ruptures within the forest structure. These land ownership systems established the framework for succeeding 2 centuries of urbanization, which one can still see in the foothills. The 19th century forest grants resulted in the imposition of a new landscape in form of commercial forestry by replacing native forest and settlements. It established the urbanization framework of the valley and also the institution framework. The second episode of agriculture expansion was actually led by infrastructure or water systems. Hydrating the agriculture expansion actually can be read through the control of headwaters in the valley. The urbanization in the 20th century was led by the agriculture intensification and expansion linked to, linked to public irrigation canals and private underground pumps. These irrigation channels were constructed along with existing framework of the 19th century forest grants, which multiplied structure and created large cultivable areas by replacing the forest. The abundance of running water replaced the dependence on seasonal streams and led to the expansion and intensification of agriculture. High value food crops such as rice, sugarcane, tea plantation, and fruits were introduced in the valley. The third episode of the contemporary infrastructure, which is still ongoing, started in the 1980s. The infrastructural growth of the 21st century has accelerated projects which transcend both the topography and the ecological challenges of the Himalayan region. One can see how highway expansion and railway is accelerating mobilities within the region. But one needs to also see that the contemporary infrastructure still follows the 19th century land grant as the framework for expansion. The research tries to position a landscape approach where the landscape framework tries to determine the existing framework of regional urbanization. Reclaiming the landscape can generate alternatives to large-scale infrastructure through contemporary expression, and where landscape urbanism can help mitigate and also adapt across scales. The alternative scenarios can also allow the landscape to perform in its infrastructural capacity, ensuring linkages with nature to generate opportunities for future urbanization by reducing its environmental impacts. The constant need of modifying land practices, resource management is a landscape-led approach which emerged as the alternative to contemporary land use and infrastructure-led planning. In terms of conclusion, the paper examined the multiple episodes of transformation spread by categorizing them into distinct territorial episodes, which were linked to the appropriation of the foothills landscape. The initial examination of the episodes allowed the identification of structural components of the landscape and provided several insights into the research approach. The foothills revealed that the scale, pattern, and appearance, and how various episodes allow for the documentation of the landscape assets, fragmentation, and existing ecological continuities. Long-term ecological research can be further utilized for strengthening the regional's natural processes, its socioeconomic and cultural values by restoring ecological processes. For example, how hydrological continuity is essential for the flow of nutrients and energy, which preserves ecological balance even within fragmented or ruptured systems. These are some of my references which I've referred for the paper. And I would like to conclude by a quote from The Fragile Mountain. What happens here in the hills will determine the future productivity of the plains below. And up here, the mountain environment has reached the limits of its ability to support the human life. Thank you.